I hope I don't need a building application anytime soon. Enough of that.
All right, I'll call it.
You already got it before.
I didn't know if I might need to have a piece of paper and pencil too. Or pen.
Am I all right to take this off of this thing here, or?
Sure.
Are these your personal items?
Yeah, we're looking.
Oh, there they are.
Good there. Okay, I'll call this board of selectmen to order for October 2nd. Roll call. We have Phil Crossman, myself, Pam Allen, and Jake Thompson, Andy Dorr, town manager, Donald Poole is absent. Approve agenda. I move we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Phil Crossman. All those in favor? And Pam votes yes for now on camera.
I'm right here.
So we just have this very quick, this is gonna take care of the quick claim deed. And I'll
I make a motion, we approve the lien release.
second by Phil Crossman. Any discussion? All those in favor? I have it right here. I don't have a pen.
Yeah, if we want to sign it, we can get the lien and notarize it.
What's that?
If we sign it now, Darlene can notarize it, so it'll be ready tomorrow, right? Is that what you
I
said?
think Wes might be up to date, pick it up.
Does it matter which line I
I
sign?
don't think so.
Can I'm the,
So I sign, which line do I actually sign? The first one, then print the second line? This says, the sign field delivered. Does it matter which line you sign? Is
If
it
you sign, yeah, and then that would be a witness tool on that side.
so I don't print my name, I just sign it?
I told Doris I'd bring that to her tonight. Is that not gonna happen?
Well, you can do that, as long as Wes knows.
All right.
What we all do it for.
Send it on, please.
Okay, we'll go on to the main item on the agenda, the garage session.
I'd like to have that.
Because it'd be more room to do.
Because,
Should we take your minutes?
yeah, we would. That'd be great.
So long as like, at least 3 of us sign it, doesn't matter that Peter doesn't sign it.
Oh, but they need this.
No, he's got the signature page, I think that's the page that needs to be notarized, right? I don't think all.
That was on the top.
Yeah.
I don't think all pages need to be notarized, do they?
This one's on the side.
I don't know, it's got a date. It's in there. Yeah, I just don't know if it has a date on that page.
Do you guys have a chance to review the documents again for the garage?
I mean, the layouts,
Yeah.
basically the difference is how many doors you want.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the way I look at it. I mean, the rest of the stuff is kind of, I mean, the showers, line and stuff, but I mean, I'm assuming all the cost comes in the doors.
So there were 2 portions people put down.
He just asked if we had a chance to review the stuff. I said, I looked at the 2 designs they had, basically, I mean,
One floor plan calls for doors on each wall, and one floor plan calls for only doors on one wall.
right, that's what I said. Basically, the difference was the amount of door, the placement of the garage doors and the amount of them.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, I understand it probably needs an eye wash station.
Oh, definitely.
But, you know, certainly not showers installed, or even a stove for that matter, break room, a microwave. Presumably that,
I
you
mean,
know,
I'm sure they just put that stuff on the drawing. We don't have to put a store in there. It's just where the break room is, I'm sure. I mean. So I'm assuming that they'll be happy with the kind of break room is what compared to what they've got now. It's just an office down there, isn't it, basically, where they, break room.
you know, very small. You know,
Right.
everyone's in there.
No social distancing.
Okay, so I guess so we need to decide on the conceptual floor plan, either plan 1 or plan 2. One of them calls for 2 doors on each side of the building and leaving the existing bay door, the one, the current front of the building, leaving that one there, which was already there. You can't cut anything up. So we need to make a decision, do we want to have 4 doors or just the 2 new ones?
We like Plan 2.
You like plan 2, okay, which is only having on one wall with 2 new doors, or 3 doors.
3 doors.
3 instead of 3 doors, yes, sorry.
3 doors instead of 4 doors.
Right. Okay, and that makes so if a vehicle breaks down, they can still maneuver and it won't.
What's the difference in the cost? It was, I can't remember. It wasn't,
Andy, can you enlarge that? Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't know, you know, obviously we're trying to work through, so you and Brent and Megan, as the engineers, have a better idea of what the board's looking to see in the building as we look to finalize, you know, we still need to finalize, you know, a contract for someone to renovate the building. But it sounded like at our last board meeting here that there might have just been some, you know, more clarity needed on, you know, some of the particulars of, you know, how it would be finished and what would be in there. So hopefully that's what we can work through today, and you can either hopefully share what plan 2, as it's on the screen now, is being proposed, and some of the highlights of that and why that over plan 1, for the board to be able to just answer questions that you might have to be able to finalize work so we can get closer to securing a contract.
I think, Andy, if I can, this is Brent, if I can answer, I think Eric asked a question about, you know, cost, or maybe it was Jay, I can't remember who asked it, but I think either of the options will be about the same cost. It's a question of where you're going to spend the money. I think that option 1, when we looked at it, and Megan can describe more in detail the kind of layout of the building, is there's more structural work in option 1, because in order to put the doors in and stuff like that, we've got to fool around with the structures and the bracing. And we thought if we can, you know, maybe that is nice because you can have a door on either end and kind of pull through and pull out. But so that's convenient as opposed to having to back things out. However, we thought it spent more money on the structural part. We'd rather, you know, spend more money on the actual building and components inside. And we also thought with trying to only stay within buying an acre, you know, the kind of less we can do outside on the north side of the building, you know, and less land that we need, we might be able to, it might work out a little bit better. And so I think, so that's, in looking at it, we actually, you know, process going through, I think, floor plan 1 we came up with, and then in kind of a second look said, you know, how can we put more money into the building and less in the structural and less on the outside, and put more of the money that you're going to spend into the fit and finish of the building and things like that. So.
And to follow up on that, plan 2, concept plan 2 allowed us to make more of a big open space for all the garage equipment, vehicles. That was a lot more flexible. Plan 1 kind of, we were trying to put the doors where there wasn't bracing and then fit the necessary rooms in between it, and it chopped up the space a little bit more. This plan gives you, you know, 2/3 of the building that's your open garage bay, that you can store trucks, you can put equipment, benches, everything, and it gives you flexibility to move things around depending on the size of the vehicle or piece of the equipment you put in. And then it just takes 1/3 of the building and makes it all your functional space as far as breaks, break room, office, mechanical, stuff like that. So it kind of splits it into 2 zones. which we think will just provide better efficiency and operation in the long run. And one thing I will mention from our last site visit out there, we made, Brent and I had talked about it, and we think what we might want to do is take the door on the south wall that says Bay 3 and actually move that to the end wall. So right next to where the existing door is. And then if you did that, you would actually get 4 full bays back to what you originally wanted in your very first design. You would have Bay 1, Bay 2, those both enter from the south, and then Bay 3 and Bay 4 would enter from the east. And then you would be able to put 4 vehicles in there at once without having to drive around or pull vehicles out to get them out.
So where Andy's got his
Clever.
hand right there.
Yes, we would move that door that's on the south side. We just kind of flip it over to that east wall. And so 2 vehicles would pull straight in, and then 2 would come around the south of the building and pull in into what we've called Bay 1 and Bay 2.
That's very clever. I like that. So, you want to go with that? I move we go.
The cost of, they said the cost of, I mean, we don't have to do any structural changes to the building, that's fine with me.
I move we go with that plan right there. 2 bays on the south side and 2 bays on the east side.
Second.
Second by Phil Crossman. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, so then these so showers. I understand the need for an eye wash station, but, and maybe that's what that means there, but it looks like shower stalls and like actual, taking a shower there, which seems overkill to me. Our employees live close enough that if they're on break time, they can go home.
Well, if they suffer a spill of significance, and cover themselves with diesel fuel or something else, this would be preferable to getting in their vehicles and driving home.
Well, how much money is it gonna add or subtract from the cost? Is that shower gonna be that much less money?
Imagine.
I would think it'd be minimal.
It must be.
So if we took it out, it'd only be
Well, can the
$1,000
shower,
or
can the
something.
shower be the eye wash station also, or do you have to have?
Probably up there.
I mean, it's 2 very different, yeah, 2 very different types. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if Megan and Brent, if we'd be required to have one of those overhead, full shower things, in the case of a spill or, something that needs to be able to get washed down quickly, just like in the eye wash station, serves a purpose if someone gets something in their eye. So, I mean, if you got to provide a shower anyways,
I was thinking that what you said, like we can ice the side slab.
but it still needs to drain, it still needs the plumbing. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think you're talking a lot of money if you need to go with one of those anyways.
And I think you need both, Andy. I think you need the eye wash and the shower. That's an emergency. You've got to flush it out really quick. The thought was on the shower and lockers is, place to put your, clothes and stuff like that if you're changing clothes or you want it, if you spill and you want to change up clothes. The other thing about a shower is, as Phil said, if you do spill something on you, it's not an emergency, it's not in your face, but you do want to change up or before you go home. The other thing about those, by doing like partitions in a shower, it's also a little bit of privacy and as far as, changing up, so you're not all changing up in one big room. And so most of the time we, depending on, you don't have any women on staff, but I mean, having some separation between those kind of things might also be good to have with privacy partitions, and the shower kind of provides that as well.
Well, I think it could be a good idea as far as like what you just said about changing clothes, that you should have a spill. And you gotta,
I move we go with the shower and eye wash station.
I don't know if you need a motion every bit of addition or project with pieces.
Well, I mean, I don't have anything, I only have like one more question after this anyway, so I prefer, I'll keep me the motion, so. Does anyone want to second that motion?
yeah, it's fine.
Okay, it's seconded by Pam. Any more discussion?
I mean, you have to have an eye wash station, I'm assuming, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't take that.
So that, you know,
They should, for safety.
I'm just saying, I don't know if we need to have a motion to have
Oh.
something that's OSHA mandated. I mean, I don't know if we need a motion,
but,
but
you know, but if he also includes the shower, that's not an OSHA mandated.
Right,
You can't make it unsafe. You can't choose to make it unsafe.
that's what I mean, that's why I was like.
so, yes.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor of Phil's motion, having both the shower and the night wash station? Okay,
I mean, all this stuff is stuff we can change if the budget comes out.
right.
I can't believe, Brent, how much extra is the shower, if you didn't put the shower in, how much extra would that shower be? Money-wise?
Oh, you know,
Just an approximate, I mean, just an estimate.
$1,000.
Yeah, so it's not even worth worrying about.
You put a bathroom in
Shower,
anyways, right?
petitions.
I mean, the plumbing's there, a shower is
Plumbing's
not
there, yeah.
expensive. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's more cost effective to do it now than to try to add it at a later date.
what's that, Megan?
It's significantly more cost effective to try to add it now while you're putting in all the plumbing for the bathroom than to add one at a later date.
Right, you're right. I agree with that, yeah, totally. And what's,
Okay. Does anyone else have any thoughts from looking at the plans?
The other thing, can I add one more thing, Eric, on the well? We will have to put a treatment system on that well for use inside. I mean, they don't drink the water, they don't use the water that much. You know, it's high iron and stuff like that. So we've put in the plans to put a filter system on, you know, so we can, you know, the water won't be quite as harsh.
yeah,
I think the shower and stuff like that, I mean, you just don't want it all stained all over the place, so.
right.
And we can provide, drink, you know, one of those coolers, or whatever, for drinking water.
So
No, but that's-
the water
Yeah,
test
that'll be gone.
has shown it has high iron content.
The existing well has high iron right now. They don't drink it, they don't use it that much.
Right,
So we'd want, because we're gonna have, you know, you know, more people in there using water, washing hands, stuff like that, we're really gonna put a system on it. But those aren't that
is that
expensive.
going to be, the existing well is what's going to be used in the
Yes.
building, right?
There's a wellhead inside that building.
Oh, it's inside the building?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, and you know what iron does to fixtures and everything. Nasty.
So that's what, at my house, all we had to do is put these 2 tanks in.
Yeah.
Didn't cost that much. I'm assuming we wouldn't need that much different a system for this
Same
place. I
thing.
mean,
Yeah.
they make,
Yeah.
they make the sediment, or whatever the water test, so.
Then,
That's the biggest issue with the water? Is it potable?
It's, yeah, it's potable. I'm not sure. I think we'd still want a water cooler there. I wouldn't trust it, but I think we get the iron out of it, then it won't stain things and you'll feel okay washing dishes in it and taking a shower in it.
Right, okay.
It's got enough flow. From what our understanding is, it's plenty of water there. It's just the quality's not good.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's not unusual, so.
Okay. Anyone else have any?
Brent and Megan, do you have anything that we need to bring up while they're here right now to give you better, you know, do you need more direction, or are we pretty good to go?
Feels like if you want to go with, if that's our preferred option, and it seems like the kind of things you've talked about are right in line with what we're looking for. And I think the action that we had, Andy, was to first approach Sheridan. They've been very patient with us and working forward, and they were the apparent low bidder. And so they're willing to work with the budget. And so I think if we're good to go, then we can start working with them as far as, you know, getting a schedule together and going over, you know, types of equipment and stuff like that. I mean, as far as the actual boiler, you know, to be able to have a sense so we can come back to you with kind of like a, you know, this is the list of things they're going to provide and you know, a little better detailed breakdown than we had provided you before. So you feel comfortable saying, you know, go forward.
Yeah, so you're sort of, when you say what we had before, it's just kind of break down here.
Right.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, does anyone else have anything else? Right, thank you, Brent, thank you, Megan.
Do you
Thank
want to take up at the matters of, trying to identify and selecting a company to work with to do this work, or?
I thought you already said that at the last meeting.
We agree to work with Sheridan?
Oh, I thought we
I
did.
thought we did at the last meeting.
I think we
I mean,
did,
you did it for the bridge.
No, that was for Jake.
Right.
Right.
I'm pretty certain we agreed to, if we didn't, then bring it up, if we did, then.
I think we did. I thought that we already said that we would go back to them because they could do it presumably do it this winter. I thought that was the discussion again, but I could be wrong.
Should we,
Double check.
should we reaffirm that so you don't have to worry about?
I can double check and we meet again next week and we can just finalize it Tuesday.
Right, I move we adjourn.
Second.
Second, by Phil Crossman.
Great.
All those in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good to see you.
Sometime in person.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't.